Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the No Cap Space. Tyler and Greer here with a very special guest for this edition of Luxury Tax. One of the hottest starts across the country in women's college basketball, Harvard's Harmoni Turner. Harmoni, thank you so much for tapping in with us here today.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for letting me on.
Absolutely. Like I said, Harmoni, we've been known. We've been known about Harmoni Turner, and I'm so glad that people are finally starting to catch up.
We're not letting you on. You forced
you
you
made your way here. You listen. Yeah. This is not us. This has nothing to do with us here. This is all Harmoni Turner. Okay, and I think early on in this season, I have a very important question to ask you off rip. I'm just gonna bat lead off because I need to know. After you dropped a casual 41 against Boston College, something slight, in the post-game interview, you said you woke up that morning knowing you're in a groove. And Harmoni, I just need to know, what are the indicators in the morning when you're like, yeah, I'll probably drop 41 tonight? What does that feel like? What does waking up into that groove look like for Harmoni Turner?
I mean, it feels great. I tried to implicate that same feeling that I had before playing Boston College to every game. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I don't know, I guess it's just a feeling that you have where it's just like, okay, today's going to be a good day. You also don't want to get too ahead of yourself because if it doesn't live up to that, then you're probably going to be a lot, feel bad about it. But I kind of just woke up like ready. And I think also like after that Quinnipiac game, I was like really dialed in. So honestly, it probably didn't even start like game day. It started like as soon as we lost after Quinnipiac. We came back and usually we drove back from the loss on Quinnipiac, and usually like everyone kind of goes home and like dissects like what just happened. But as soon as we got home, I put my sneakers back on and put myself through like an hour and a half workout. And like I was just like, I refuse to let this happen again. And then the practices leading up to BC, understanding that that team was going to be better than Quinnipiac, like we knew that we had to like really be locked in. And so like when I woke up on game day, I was just like, I mean, it couldn't be worse than Quinnipiac. So let's.
Yeah, I mean, look, it worked. So whatever you can bottle up from that morning. That's Harmoni's secret stuff. Whatever it was that morning, crazy performance.
So like, like Tyler said, you're having just like an incredibly hot start to the season. You're talking about preparation, right? And getting in the gym hour and a half after a loss. You had like a very, very interesting summer. Can you also talk about how the summer of basketball and just like where it took you, where the game took you this summer, how that also prepared you for how you're playing right now for Harvard?
Yeah, I'm super grateful for the summer. I went through a lot mentally, a lot physically. I put myself damn near through hell, it felt like, on earth. I knew that I wasn't really getting looks in regards to like the W, and that's always been a goal of mine, is to be drafted. So I knew that I had to change some sort of regimen that I was doing in the previous summers and apply that to this past summer. I was going through a lot mentally, and it wasn't just this past summer. It's been kind of like a lifelong thing. And my mom has definitely helped me get out of that mental funk. She was really hard on me. And yeah, I think I was so focused this summer. I don't know like how else to say it, but like I was so focused in that refuse to like give up / refuse to lose mindset. And I knew that this was an all or nothing. So damn near playing like working out like out of desperation. Like I'm desperate. And gratefully that landed me a spot with USA. I ended up playing with them in September, and we ended up winning the World Cup. It was my first time like making USA. I got cut 3 times before that. So it was definitely a blessing. And I knew that I was just seizing the moment any chance I get, understanding that, hey, like I am not out of the conversation. Like, don't count me out. And that USA has definitely instilled a lot more confidence in me going into this season, and just understanding that, like, okay, obviously something is now working in regards to like my workout regimen and my mental like exercises that I do every single day. Something is working, so just keep doing that and keep, like, head down and just go. That's literally what I'm doing this year, playing out of straight desperation. Like, I'm refusing you guys to just look over me. No more of that.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I adore that mentality. Actually, I think that there's several things that I want to touch on from that answer there. But first off, I just want to know. So you as you mentioned, you get cut several times from Team USA. Can you take us to the moment where you found out that you made the team, and like the specifics on like how you found out, and then just like the moment of that, the emotions, and what it was like to kind of see a pretty quick return. You lock in on this summer, and then you make the Team USA team not long kind of into the summer process in a way. Obviously, this has been a very long process overall, but for the summer specifically, you made this decision. You make Team USA. What was the moment like where you found out that you had made the team?
So it was pretty ironic, just because like I finished my workout. I was heading home from my workout, and I kind of had like an emotional breakdown because it reached that time, the summer, where I was just like, what I'm doing right now, like, is this going to be good enough? Like, literally just contemplating, crying. I'm just like, okay, I just one of those moments. And if I'm being completely honest, and lo and behold, like, I get a call from Jay Demings, and he's like, hey, like, we have a spot for you on 3x3 USA. Do you want it? And now I'm crying some more, but it's like different tears. I was like, wow, that was fast. I guess what I'm doing is working. And it was a roller coaster of emotions, gratitude, just to Jay, just to like the man above, understanding that God is never going to steer me wrong, and what I'm doing and what he has put me through is all for a purpose. I celebrated with my parents. My mom, she's always been like, how parents sometimes they like super hard on you. They like slightly hate on you just so that they know that they don't want you to get complacent.
Yeah.
So like she was like, okay, you made the team. What you gonna do about it?
Now what?
Like, So like we had, it was a really special moment, because that's something USA has been on my goal sheet since I was a kid, and I thought those days were over. I really did. After I got cut 3 times, so just receiving that call and being able to play for my country is something that no one can take away from me, and it's also something that I'm super extremely grateful for, and I hope to continue in the years to come.
When you guys, right, are up on that podium getting your medals, right? Like, what, you're talking about your faith, touching on it, but like, what is that moment like too, right? Where it's like, the goal is obviously to make the team, but like, not only did I make the team, we won.
Yeah.
We win, right? Like, what is that? Yeah. What is like, how does that even like impact your faith even more, and like trust in God, right?
Yeah, I guess you just have to understand that, like, and this is something that I'm still understanding, that God is never going to steer you wrong, even in the midst of adversity. Because that's the first time, like, that's the main time that myself, tend to like give up and almost blame him for putting you through situations. And when I couldn't control my emotions once we got on that podium, it was very heartfelt to me. I was proud of myself for never giving up. Like I said, I've been through so much, not just inside of basketball, but also outside of that. And just having those emotions, kind of just letting it out, it was something that I couldn't even describe. It's difficult to describe, because like I feel like you have to just be in that moment. But it also motivated me even more, because sometimes you need those like little wins.
I don't know if it's a little win.
You
were on a podium with USA across the chest. I don't know if that's a little win, but I get what you're saying.
sometimes you need those wins to like help
There we go.
regain your focus, help
Yeah.
motivate you again. And honestly, that's what it did. Like I said before I got that call, I felt like giving up. I felt like I didn't want to play anymore. I was just like, this is not working.
Yeah.
And so um winning gold allowed me to really think like, oh, okay, maybe I am good enough. Maybe I am like worthy enough to still play this game of basketball, to still like use the gift that God has gave me, and implicate that into the actual season.
Yeah.
It was nice. And then like after it happened, I was like, okay, I got to get back to work,
Straight
because
to it.
the main goal is to win a championship here at Harvard, which hasn't been done in a long time. So that's something those were all the emotions that was kind of going through my head.
Yeah, no. One thing that I love from your is the vulnerability of and the openness with your experience, and I feel like especially with athletes, like, and especially from an outside perspective, outside looking in, and like watching the games from a media perspective, like we obviously don't know everything that goes on a day-to-day basis in this way. But one thing that I thought was super impressive, as you know, with you, is that athletes will start foundations when they're in the pros, maybe after the pros. You already have one. You already have your own foundation that you pour into Pretty Insecure. I just want, can you, for people that may be unfamiliar with this foundation and everything, can you kind of just give the background, the why behind it, and what makes it so special to you?
Yeah, Pretty Insecure is like my baby. Like aside of basketball, like I feel like honestly that's my number one priority. It's a nonprofit that my mom and I have started over roughly about a year ago, a little bit over that. And it basically tackles childhood trauma, anxiety, certain disorders that I was diagnosed with. And the reason I wanted to start it, I always knew that I wanted to inspire kids, but I didn't really know how or what that looked like. And my mom and my parents, really, both of them, they were like, well, why don't you just talk about yourself? And I was just like, they should know about all this. Like, I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. So honestly, like I this is something that I was thinking about in high school, middle school. Like, we could have started it back then, but I was just not ready. And I faced a lot of trauma in my childhood. Any form of abuse that you can think of, I probably went through it. And it was very difficult for me to cope with it. It was difficult for me to like speak out about it. And a lot of people also thought that I really didn't go through much, that I had it easy because I'm always smiling, cracking jokes, being happy, or pretending to be, and putting on this front in front of basically all of my peers. And so when I started Pretty Insecure with my mom, like we ended up inspiring these young girls that were less fortunate, through our stories. And I didn't think that was actually going to work. Me personally, like I was just like, I thought I was going to get judged. I thought that they were going to look at me differently, and it was the complete opposite. We also like implemented how there's more to life than what's given in front of you, and the things that have happened to you does not define your future, doesn't define you as a person, and you have every ounce of strength to change that. It's just taking those steps, and we ended up giving them a few steps as well. And then we also looked career based, because a lot of them are unsure about what they want to do. Some people don't want to go to college, and we're not like hounding college onto them, but we're also encouraging it at the same time. And so like a few things that we've done was took them to the American Airlines Center. We had them talk to a few flight attendants, and they were basically saying how some of the flight attendants don't have college degrees, but they're certified in a lot of different sectors, a lot of different areas, and inspiring these young girls that they can do the same thing. Like, you don't need a college degree just to be respected at a certain level. And then we also took them to HBCU week, and they had an opportunity to win scholarships on the spot. And
Oh, wow.
so just giving these girls, these young women, different outlooks on how life could be and how life um, should be, honestly, for you if you want to take those steps. But it all started by us telling our stories. My mom has, when I say my mom, she adopted me when I was 18. So my mom has told her story as well. She's been through a lot as well. And we kind of just do this together. And it's something that we're all getting through together. This is not like a I'm over you type of thing. This is like, girl, I'm learning with you because I need some of this stuff still to this day. Like, I am no perfect being. I'm just at a more comfortable spot where I can be like, hey, this is what I've done to get to where I'm at. And maybe you can take some things from me, from my mom, or from whomever that have told you certain things that you can do to get out of this situation that you're in.
You're bringing up your parents, and I want to talk about your dad for a second, because I read that he was like instrumental in pushing you to Harvard. You were an outstanding athlete coming out of Mansfield, Texas. Probably could have gone anywhere in the country to play basketball, right? And you chose Harvard, and he is a big reason why. Can you go back to 17, 18-year-old Harmony, and like what those conversations were like, and what he was telling you like Harvard education could do for you?
Yeah, it was definitely very pivotal for me. I ended up tearing my ACL and missed my entire senior year of high school, which was super important. I tore it in Nike Nationals. We were on the road to winning a championship that year. And it gave me time to reflect a lot about like basketball as a whole, and a lot about like understanding how I can't play forever. I knew that, but at the same time, I was just like, F that. I want to go to a Power 5 school because I feel like I deserve that. I think a lot of it was also an ego thing, and a lot of it was like, I'm going to show you guys like I can handle it. Like I can be at these Power 5 schools and dominate. And so my dad, when it came to me deciding, my dad was like really hounding me about, dude, Harvard is the only answer that you should be considering right now. And I just was brushing him off like the entire like 2 years, because they recruited me in my sophomore year. I was just brushing him off. I was just like, all right, cool. Like, it is what it is. What made me decide, and every time people ask me this question, I bring up this story. I remember getting cut in 5th grade from Jason Terry's team. He played in the NBA, and he created a youth basketball team, or an AAU team that was pretty intense. We played a lot of great competition, and that was my first AAU team that I made. So I was playing with him for about 4 years. Then he cut me. He cut me because he said that I was too small and not strong enough, and they were looking for bigger and stronger guards. So I cried a lot to my dad, and I remember him bringing me into his office, and he was like, do you trust me? And so I was like, yes, I trust you. I'm crying to him, and I say, yes, I trust you. And he was like, well, you don't understand that like what's about to happen to you is all in your favor, and this is just one door that closed and a bigger one's about to open. So I didn't understand what he meant entirely at that time. I just knew like, okay, I'm just gonna trust my dad and kind of just let life happen. Lo and behold, I ended up getting invited to USA those 3 times, and then I ended up making a team that was better than the one that cut me. And he's never brought that up to me ever, until it was time for me to decide where I wanted to go to school. So then I was like, I know where this is going, bro. He was like, do you trust me? And I legit like rolled my eyes. I was just like, bro, I knew it. Like, I didn't roll my eyes at him, but I rolled it like at the situation.
Yeah. He hit you with the Uno plus 4. You can't defeat that. Like, you can't. That's not fair.
So he was like, do you trust me? I said, damn it. Like, I was like, yes, I trust you. Yes. Like, I had a straight attitude. And he was like, he was like, okay, well, you will understand that Harvard is the best decision that you'll ever make in your life. And I was told my dad, I said, I don't want to go there. Like, I didn't enjoy my visit. It was raining. It was cold. I didn't enjoy it. I was like, this is a sign. This is literally a sign. And he was like, forget that sign. Like, no, we're talking about longevity here. And so I literally chose Harvard because of my dad. Even after I committed, I was like, what did I just do? And thank God that I did, because I'm seeing what he was trying to like instill in me before I committed here. I love it here. I love the connections. I love the people, and I feel like this is like a home away from home. And honestly, this is something that I've asked for without even knowing. I've always knew that I wanted to be a trailblazer, and I feel like, and this is the route that I took, which started that trailblazing. And I'm super grateful for my dad, even though, like, we have a few disagreements, but he has never steered me wrong. So I'm just going to listen to him moving forward.
Hey, go ahead, Greg.
You're talking about, obviously it's the best choice that you've made so far in your young life, right? You're going to have many more choices in life, but, and I know you're not lying, because the tweets back.
Look, that was what I was about to ask about, Greg. Chemistry, because you retweeting
down about
10
Harvard
toes.
And what it means to you, and like where it's positioned you so far in life. What's it like playing at an elite level, first of all, but also at the most elite institution in the world?
Because you said those bags, because you comment out about it. So, when you made the post about the team throwing bags, I lost. I'm not gonna lie, I was laughing like hell. I thought that was so funny. I thought that was such a great post. But yes, to Greer's point, like, you go from that in high school to now you're dismissing these other teams that are trying to get you to move. What is that with being both the elite athlete and the elite academic in that way?
I'm not gonna lie, because this is majority of athletes when they go to school. Like, I was going through a rough patch. I'm not saying everything was fine and dandy while I was here. I'm grateful still, but at the same time, I was going through a lot, and sometimes God works in mysterious ways without you understanding, and you have choices to make, and depending on those choices will determine what your outcome will be. So I was thinking about this when a lot of these schools were throwing numbers at me, and I remember this one particular school, they threw a pretty decent price tag on it, and I was just maybe I'll take it, but I don't know. And I knew that I was gonna stay regardless, because my parents were gonna be like, no, you're staying, I don't care. I knew that I was gonna stay regardless, but I was just I also said let's see how far this can go. Maybe this was wrong on my end, but I just wanted to see. And I was like, no, I feel like I'm valued more than that. They ended up coming back, doubling the price. I was like, God,
damn! I would have hit Dad with, "Do you trust me?" Uno reverse the +4. Come on, now. Man.
Oh man. So I was like, dang, and mind you, I'm a kid. I've never seen this much money before, and this is gonna be in my bank account. But I also understood the longevity of things. If money is so quick to come at me like that, just imagine how much more I can make once I keep working at it. So, after the excitement kind of wore off, I was like, okay, why would I waste a Harvard education? Why would I depart from a team that I love so much, a school that I love so much, regardless on what it's put me through and how hard it is? Because it's very difficult, not gonna lie. But why would I do that? And why would I work so hard to get in if I'm just gonna leave? And I felt like, for me, I was like, that's weak. That's not who I want to be. And so I declined, and more offers came, and I was just like, no. And it got to a point I was just like, stop contacting me. I don't care. I'm done. I don't want this. And I also understood, we have a lot of legends that have come through Harvard, obviously. So why would I take somebody else's, advice, not to belittle their intelligence or anything, but I I trust the people that are here, and I trust the people that are in my corner. And obviously I trust my parents, and they were saying, "You're staying. I don't care." So I mean, that's just kind of how it was.
They need to put you on Harvard.edu right now.
Front page,
right now.
Front page. Okay. Like you look, man. You might have to double up as like recruiting coordinator for the whole school on top of your WNBA. Like outside the summer, look. There's so much we can get in. There's not enough time for all the questions we have for you, to be quite honest. I do want to talk about your start to this season, though, on the court, because, I mean, it's been fantastic. Like I said, we've been known, but I think people are finally truly taking notice. And you mentioned earlier in the interview the aspect of the WNBA aspirations. And I'm interested from your perspective, this season specifically, like from your growth year by year, from a WNBA perspective and like the skill set that it needs to be a WNBA pro. In this season in particular so far, where do you feel like you've like leveled up the most where WNBA teams should be taking notice about this aspect of your game?
Like, I hate to sound like cliche, but I feel like everything. Like, I feel I'm more versatile. I feel, first of all, I know I'm more confident. And I feel like confidence takes you the longest way possible, regardless on your skill or anything. And I feel like my game has proven that. It's showing that consistently. And I think my biggest thing with the W is y'all need to start looking in the Ivy League more. Like, that is something that I have tried to emphasize. I've been emphasizing all year, and I need everybody to understand that nerds can hoop too. Like, don't get it twisted. A lot of these athletes could have gone to a lot of Power 5 schools, including myself. And we just decided to think longevity. We just decided to have an alternative route. And it's society's fault for putting these stigmas on us that we can't do both. The reason why we are at these schools is because we are not one-dimensional. We are very versatile in all aspects in our life. And we just so happen to be very smart enough to get into these Ivy League schools. So I think the W should definitely consider looking into the Ivy more, and understand that, like, nerds can play, nerds can hoop. We just so happen to be at Harvard, just so happen to be at Princeton, etc. And we've also proven that this year too by beating all these teams that are considered Power 5s, beating ranked teams. Like, the proof is there.
You brought them up. Oh my God.
You want me to say the proof is there. What more do we need to prove? Like, again, this is society stigmatizing Ivy League hoopers. And I think it needs to stop, personally.
Talk your talk, Harmony, because we had Caitlin Chen on preseason.
Yes.
And we asked her. Yes, we asked her. We're like, because I'll tell you right now, there's about 7 Ivy League teams that I don't want to see on my team schedule. It's scary. It's scary. I don't want to see Ivy League team on the schedule. Man, that's what. Look, man, don't let me figure out which one it wasn't. But look, I'll tell you what it wasn't. It wasn't Harvard, that's for sure. But I just expand on like the actual like talent in the Ivy League, because we asked Caitlin Chen a very similar question, and we're like, nobody wants to see these teams, yet these teams don't get respected on like the national level. To your point, just how good is the Ivy League?
I think when people don't want to see us, that's proof in the pudding right there. Like, you guys, to us, it just feels as if like y'all know that it's gonna hurt your schedule, or it's gonna hurt your rank or whatever it is if you get beaten by an Ivy League team because of, again, how society depicts us. And we are trying to play you guys. I think the best bet for us is to not to speak so like far in the future, but just to win the championship and make a run in the NCAA tournament. That's like, honestly, that's just what our goal is. And we're a bunch of underdogs. Like, the Ivy League is an underdog conference. And I personally feel like we don't get enough respect. I feel like the media doesn't magnify us enough in athletics as much as they do academics. And I think that allows society to also just be like, oh, okay, like, they're smart, but that's probably about it. Like, they can't do this, that, and the third, which is very ignorant. And honestly, I think that's something that needs to shift. I think that mentality needs to shift. And that's another reason why I've come to Harvard, is to realize like you can also do basketball and be smart and do this and have a nonprofit, etc. Like you don't have to just be one dimensional. And a lot of athletes, even in the pros, you hear like a lot of y'all just think I'm just a basketball player and I'm more than that. So it's a lot of conflicting things that society has a lot of power over, and unfortunately, like that's been our stigma for the Ivy League. But yes, and the Caitlin Chin is a bucket. Like you see where she's at now.
Hello.
She's at UConn. She could have been there 4 years ago. Like she is one of the faces of the Ivy League. But there were so many more that came along and nobody really knew about it. Allison Feaster. She was a bucket. She played in the league and now she's working for the Celtics right now. Like she is a bucket. And then we have I forget her name, but she played at Penn. She has like the most points in the entire Ivy League. She holds that record.
We just saw the transfers go to USC last year, like Mackenzie Ford. Like we've
that's
seen.
What I'm saying. We have three transfers that are going to these Power 5 schools, and everyone is so shocked that they come from Ivy Leagues. But it's just like, why are you shocked?
Yeah.
Why are you shocked?
Yeah. So you've been, very loud and direct about what your goal is right now with the Harvard women's basketball team, and that is to win the Ivy League championship, right? And obviously go to the NCAA tournament. Can you talk about your relationship with Coach Moore and like, because you guys have like just the intensity period of the entire sideline. Honestly, it's like I love how y'all come in for real, because I can tell that you guys like love playing with and for each other. But the head of the snake is oftentimes the head coach. So talk about your relationship, how she pours into you, right? And how to collectively you guys are going to get to your goal at the end of the season.
Yeah, like Coach Moore, she is very, very passionate about the game, and I feel like it starts at the top. Like if our coach isn't passionate about it, then it's going to be more difficult for the team to be passionate about the game of basketball. She loves the game. She loves her players. She loves me. Like we've had a lot of discussions, a lot of talks, and she was like, "This year can go however you want it to go." And when she said that, I really thought about it, and she trusts me a lot. She trusts the leadership that I have for the team. And I feel like it starts at the top. And honestly, like she's doing a hell of a job, hence our record. So she's doing a really great job at really keeping us mission focused, staying in the process, not giving so like end goal focus, just like in the process. And I feel like that's something that has allowed us to win so many games and allowed us to come back from games that we were down on. But she's definitely like the glue of the team, and I feel like that's really, really important, and a lot of teams don't have that. So I'm super grateful that she's a part of this team and a part of like a community and a culture that really loves and is honed in on a similar or like the same goal.
Yeah, Harmoni, we could go on, I swear, for another hour, but I know we can't keep you too long. So I want to wrap up with this one. And you've kind of touched on it, but I would love just to kind of give your direct message on this. I think a lot of people are discovering Harmoni Turner. They're late, but they're just now discovering Harmoni Turner in Harvard women's basketball this year, right now, with some of these big wins. If it is someone's first time watching Harvard, watching Harmoni Turner, what do you hope that they take away from your game?
Something that I hope they take away from my game is understanding how special of a player / person I am. I think that's something that shows in my game. Also understanding how much fun I'm having, because joy is something that you don't really see a lot in sports anymore. And so just understanding, like, I really do enjoy this game. Super grateful for it. Like, if you guys look at my socks when I play, I have different scriptures on them. So just also understanding that I'm God-fearing and having him take the lead in every which way I go. So, yeah, I think that's something.
I love it. Harmoni, like I said, we could go on and on. We might just run it back. Round 2, Harmoni, because this has been fantastic. You are incredible. We're so ecstatic for you and this team for the start that you guys had. We can't wait to stay tapped in this entire season. can't wait to see the run in March. I'm manifesting. I'm manifesting already.
Thank you guys.
Harmoni, thank you so much. Make sure you guys stay tapped in here to No Cap Space for all of your women's basketball coverage, and we'll see you next time.